Hello and welcome to today's show. Today, we are focusing on this sugar scientist named Victor Frankenstein and his creation, a grotesque creature. Victor worked day and night for months to reanimate the dead, but once his work came to fruition, he was overcome with such horror that he ran away, never to see his hated creation again, or so we thought. Here's Victor himself to tell us.
Verily, I must thank thee ardently for permitting me to share my sorrows with an audience that can sympathize with such immense hardship, and thus provide such comfort that I can derive from nowhere else.
Well, no worries. Anyway, do you want to explain your story to the audience?
Yes. After the events of my mother's passing, I was due to journey to Ingolstadt, where I became infatuated with natural philosophy, along with the ancient arts of chemistry and alchemy. I then perceived a dark secret of the universe, which had such significance that it might lead to the reanimation of the dead. Driven by the vigor of curiosity, I toiled for months in isolation to realize this dream. Once I did, however, terror and extreme fright overcame me.
Now why is this?
My creation can most simply be described as a monster. His abhorrent features and proportions only highlighted his heinous countenance. Once I laid my eyes on my creature, I fled with haste. I had never expected to see its face again.
Oh, let me stop you there. Now let's bring in this vile creature person.
Alas, the reactions of those men is indeed a semblance of the representation of all my misery.
Well, now, we've already heard Victor's side of the story, so what do you have to say?
Victor's tale presents a view of misery that conveys, in comparison, a fraction of the pains that I have thought endured. I have been cast aside from my Creator, who had built me in such a way that I was horrifying and wretched to the eye, and sympathy and kindness could never reach the heart of a being identical to I.
All of you our fellow friends' problems. Let's bring in an expert to help review their disputes between each other right after this ad.
Io sono Marco Polo, ma...
Playing Marco Polo with Marco Polo? Surprising.
Ragazzini, io sono Marco Polo. Sì, sono qui.
What's not surprising? How much money Amanda and Keith saved by switching to Geico.
Ah, Polo? Polo?
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Polo?
Let's do it.
Welcome back to today's show. Now I'd like to welcome Dr. Holdo.
Hello everybody, my name is Nick and I'll be helping Victor and this creature resolve their dispute. Conflict resolution therapy is a method that involves both parties speaking their minds so that they can achieve an optimal solution. So Victor, what did you do to this creature that had raised the conflict among both of you?
Language itself cannot and was not built to convey the pain in which I have suffered at the hands of this monster. Alas, the joys of my life were snuffed out by this beast. My brother, William, who was just a child, my ardently loyal and faithful servant and friend, Justine, and my most beloved companion and caretaker, Henry Clerval, and the being that was the cause of all jocundity in my life, my dearest wife, Elizabeth. Surely now you must comprehend my immeasurable suffering induced solely by this monster.
That sounds completely devastating.
Indeed, I can only imagine what you've been through, but surely there was some amount of reasonable conviction from you, monster, to commit the wicked acts. Please indulge us.
Yes, it was becoming exceedingly difficult to listen to the story, which is nothing short of farce without the context necessary to understand fully the situation. For a simple man to understand my predicament, a more realistic story is needed. I ask you to imagine that you are born to the hands of those who, with your conception, were sworn to protect and love you. And then imagine them abandoning and abhorring you based on factors beyond the control of any man, leaving you subject to torture of the hateful, fearful nature of man. As you grew, this torture shall continue and torment your soul. as those you believe to be friends betray you, and those who you devote your succor to intend to persistently bring hardship to you. This life, which must be pure horror to thine eyes, would be mercy to me. Do I not deserve even the smallest semblance of sympathy from a creature created by yours in nature, and with the same desires to obtain joy and fulfillment, if not from the common folk?
Fiend! You dare speak ill against me and declare the right to sympathy when you smile upon the wretchedness of innocent men. What kind of creature commits unspeakable acts of violence and against men and then turns with a deceiving countenance and illegitimate intent to claim sympathy?
Settle down, Victor. You haven't a clue what it must be like to be rejected by everyone, and to never have even a slightly positive thought towards you.
Now, creature, are you finished with your story?
I cannot express to you my gratitude towards you at this moment for listening to my solemn words, and I shall not waste time attempting to either. After I had been rejected profusely by man many times, I saw it fit to enact vengeance on the being who created me and abandoned me, and therefore caused my suffering. Journeying to the general area of my residence, I stumbled upon his brother, William, and to cause my greater pain, I killed him, and planted a picture of the beautiful woman that was captured in his pocket on a young lady, ultimately making her to suffer for my crimes. I later learned that her name was Justine.
So you admit to murdering William and causing the death of Justine?
That is right.
So, Victor, what happened after this?
I was approached by the creature after Justine's execution, and using his cunningness, he made me perceive an infinitesimally small amount of sympathy towards him, as well as threaten me and my beloved ones into creating a companion for him. While I agreed to it, I ultimately terminated my workings, unwilling to release another abominable fiend into this world for my own selfish reasons. As a result, he murdered my closest friend and my recently married wife, leaving me with nothing but my brother, along with my sorrowful self. I was in such despair that thoughts of self-harm often plagued my mindset.
Creature, this seems like a harsh reaction, does it not?
Perhaps. However, this man broke his oath and destroyed in front of me my only chance of even a puny amount of happiness. Do I not, as a fellow living creature, deserve the opportunity to be thought of in an alternate way than as a monster? When I myself, as much like you all, if this is not available to the minds of men, then shall I not have the low privilege of having an identical companion that can provide to me such joy that I can reciprocate, as God created Eve and Eve to accompany his Adam? This despicable man cannot see his basic reasoning, and neither can many others, blinded by their vision and guided by the hatred, by their prejudice.
You both seem to be struggling with the exact same problem.
Both of you cannot see into each other's point of view because you are both smothered in the pains of your own. Victor, the pain that this creature has suffered will never be fully comprehended by you or by any man or monster. The despair that has been brought by this man to your hands is immeasurable.
No, exactly. Y'all both need to know y'all is hurting, and that both of y'all are wrong to ignore. Now we'll see what Victor has to say right after this ad.
Oh, check out that Buick. Wow, that's nice. But if that's a Buick, then my kid's Cam Newton.
Damn! Blue 42 set.
I'm open! Go! No! Yes!
Some people just can't believe the new Buick.
That's a good looking Buick right there. That's a Buick.
And I'm a supermodel.
Nice play, Billy!
Miranda Kerr? Coming up. Let's do it.
Now, Victor, why don't you start? Can you acknowledge that your creature has suffered a pain of his own?
Alas, has this creature not reaped and suffered what he has sown? I, although not completely innocent, as I have brought into this world a wretched fiend, I have gone through tribulations beyond what humanity should allow, and I was kept alive solely through the wishes of the heavens.
No, that ain't true, Victor. You can't understand what he's been through.
This is crucial to getting past this, so you must be willing to move past these problems, are you?
Woe is me. If I must, I shall. Firstly, this creature, as vile as he is, was forsaken by all of man, and treated with ill intent, without a valid reason save his wretched countenance, and denied even a single opportunity for affection.
Now, what things did you do to him that he may have caused him to hate you?
The sole reason that I would be worthy of hatred is for unleashing onto this world such a deplorable and odious creature with supreme vigor to destroy humanity. But hark, in his vision, he must despise me for deserting him in the infancy of his existence, and destroying in front of him a supposed companion that could bring him happiness.
So you recognize why he might be angry at you and why he might hate you.
I can never claim to comprehend this fiend, but nevertheless, I perceive the plausibility of it.
Now, monster or not, all living creatures cannot be judged by their appearance or desired chance of happiness. Now, creature, what things have you done to Victor that may seem unjust to him?
Well, I purposely sought and endeavored to destroy his life. I strangled his younger brother and framed his loyal house servant, and also murdered his companion in life.
No man deserves to suffer such pain. So now that both of you understand the pain that you've caused each other, I want you to apologize towards each other.
Surely not!
Oh, yes, indeed. You don't have to be friends, but you must respect that both of y'all have acted in life because of each other.
Yes, you are correct. I shall begin. Creature, I am sorry for creating you and dismissing your only chance of happiness.
And I apologize for causing the sorrow of murdering your dearest kid.
It really be like that sometimes. Anyway, this is Dr. Holden, our guest, and now it's time for closing statements. Fellows, what we've learned here today is to never to give up on a relationship and to always forgive and to admit when you're wrong. Well, I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.